Shalom. Call Haloyamla, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Racha Kodash, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahweh Brakta Racha Kodash, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Shalom and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elders in the Akim and the Akwat of the hopeful elect. Shalom. Just wanted to go into a quick video entitled America Was Doomed from Its Inception. And I was reading Psalms 127 here, and then, the Spirit jumped on me, to bring out some precepts that, link up with a couple of these verses. So this will be a real quick hit. So hopefully this video is edifying. So we'll start here in Psalms 127, verse 1. It says, "Except the Lord Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh build the house, they labor in vain that build it." Excuse me. So we'll go real quick to Psalms 39 and verse 5. "Behold, thou hast made my days as an handbreadth, and mine age is as nothing before thee. Verily, every man at his best state is altogether vanity." Selah. So we know America at his, like Trump, his whole marketing pitch when he was, going to be on his campaign to become president back, a few years back, the slogan was "Make America Great Again." So that was their best state back in the day. So that was their best state. And we know that their state was all vanity and all wickedness and lies and sin and crime, right? So from their best state is all vanity, and it's actually abominable. It's very, satanic. The way that their state was, their greatness is the epitome of Satanism, right? So we know just by that alone, their best state is through their own hands. And so we know that their hands man's hands is vanity. And so they built this state and not the Most High. That's basically where I was, bringing it back to. So, and then from there we'll go to Proverbs chapter 12, verse 14. "A man shall be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth." And also, you sin with your mouth when you're not speaking the commandments and not speaking spiritually. When you speak carnally, you're sinning, and that's you won't be satisfied with that. And we know what they do with their media and all of their, the Speaker of the House and all of this, that they're speaking leasing, which means lying and falsehoods. And the recompense of a man's hands shall be rendered unto him. So when you doing things according to your own will, with your own carnal hands, you're going to be rewarded. You're sowing to the flesh. Romans 8 and 6. "He that soweth to the flesh will reap corruption and death." Is what corruption is. And then he that soweth to the spirit, which is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments and faith in the Messiah, Yahweh, will reap life, life everlasting. So that's what that's going into. And we know that this country did not sow, with their hands. They didn't sow spiritually, but they've sown with their own hands, their own carnal, fleshly hands. And then called it what? Manifest destiny. But manifest destiny has a part 2, according to Genesis 49. We'll get that real quick. Genesis 49, and I believe 19. Reads, "Gad," that's the Native American, so-called Native American Indians, the tribe of Reuben and tribe of Gad and Reuben, the so-called, the North American Indians, they call them, which is the tribe of Gad, and the Seminole Indians, which is the tribe of Reuben. So Gad, a troop shall overcome him. Troop meaning a army, a troop of men. That was the pilgrims, so-called pilgrims, so-called Europeans that came over here and overcame Gad over here in the Western Hemisphere. That was a prophecy that Jacob gave, to the Northern Kingdom, to the so-called Indians. But he shall overcome at the last. So that's manifest destiny part 2, is that the Israelites are going to overcome these troops that's overtaking us. And that's what happened here in the Western Hemisphere, right? So that's going into that. Going back to Proverbs 12 and 14. Okay, we read that, and the recompense of a man's hands shall be rendered unto him. So he that diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth the stone, it shall roll back upon him, right? So that's what's going. That's that manifest destiny. And then Manifest Destiny has a part 2 where he's going to be destroyed the same way. And that's righteous, just judgment. And that's a complete balance, because a false balance is an abomination. It wouldn't be right. It would make the Most High an unjust power if he allowed just one nation to wrongfully and inhumanely destroy and oppress perpetually another nation. It's going to balance out, and it's going to return eventually. And that's what's happening right now, as we can see through all of the end time events, right? That's happening right now. So Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity. And we know that they have they all conspire together to keep the Israelites down, so-called Blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and work evil upon their beds, because this is their place of rest here in America, and their headquarters over there in Europe, over there in their World Economic Forum, that like Switzerland and Europe, that's where their main headquarters is. The shadow government runs the earth from there, but let the whore, they get all of their money over here in America, which is about the whore, Babylon the Great. This is where they get all of their riches, because this is nothing more than a corporation for them to make their riches over here. It says, when the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands. So that's that hand again, that wicked hand. They're sowing to the flesh with their hands, and not the Most High didn't sow this, but they're sowing this, and they're sowing nothing but wickedness, and they're going to reap wickedness and corrupt. They're going to not reap wickedness, but reap righteous, just judgment upon their heads. Back up chapter 2 and verse 12. And this is how it was established, and not by the Most High. Woe to him that buildeth the town with blood. And that's how they built America, with blood of us. Enslaved us and made us build their country over here, their corporation, on the blood of our brothers that they slaughtered and stole the land from, and established a city by iniquity. And that's how they established America and all of their areas that they've colonized. Colonization is sowing and establishing cities and towns with blood. Excuse me. So it will not be well with them that do so. Psalms 127. They labor in verse 1. They labor in vain that build it, except the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai keep the city. If the Most High do it, then if he build a house, he will keep it. But the Most High did not build this place, and he's not keeping it. He's bringing it down, according to prophecies happening with the famines, with the destructions, the judgments, the weather judgments, and the diseases of the C-19, and the rumors of wars, and the wars that's happening. World War III is underway. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchmen waketh but in vain. So their watchmen are waking in vain, because they can't do anything to stop everything that's happening. They're trying to subvert and overthrow biblical prophecy, but it won't happen. Joel 2:8. And part of the watchmen goes into men, their military, and also their anti-missile defense systems, which will try to shoot down any kind of thermonuclear missiles that come this way, right? Or any rockets. So for Joel 2:8, neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one in his path. So this is talking about the thermonuclear missiles that will be shot over here. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So when this is one of my favorite verses to go into, and go into this word sword, because this is profound prophecy that's just like pinpoint, the sword right here. Weapon, missile, sprout, missile, weapon. So it let you know that it's a missile. Modern day swords are guns and missiles, and whatever that era, whatever that country, that the era of time it is, and how they use war and how they fight war. How they fight war is their weapon, is their sword. And because what does a sword do? Pierce you. And what they do with countries, they pierce with the missiles nowadays. So, a missile. So, and when they fall upon the missile, they shall not be wounded. So that means how are they going to fall on a missile? Because as their missile, as the Russia and all of its allies over there, Gog and Magog, shoots their missiles over here, it's coming down, right, to hit America. And then their anti-missile defense system as part of the watchmen. They're going to shoot as people watching and monitoring it, they're going to shoot off those missiles to try to intercept those incoming thermonuclear missiles, to try to, intercept them. And the most I say, as the missiles coming down, then when they fall upon the missiles coming to intercept them, and even if and some of them are going to actually hit those missiles coming in, but it's not going to do anything. They're going to be too strong and powerful for it, and they should not be wounded. So that's the watchman that's going to be watching for those thermonuclear missiles incoming, right? So continuing Psalms 127 and verse 2, it is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late. And right now they having this, and it's in the week of the World Economic Forum meeting over there in Davos, I think Switzerland, where the World Economic Forum is having a week-long meeting about the future and how they're about to implement everything to have everybody in their control with eventually, that digital economy. So they're rising up early, they staying late throughout the week. They're up all day and all night conversing and really trying to mastermind their business plan of the digital economy. And so reports are going to be coming out. So we're going to be keeping with all of the brothers they keeping of the hopeful elect, a great millstone, and they're bringing out the information. And we're also going to be monitoring all of the breaking news and the details coming out of this week-long World Economic Forum, which is, when you break it down, the world economy, basically the people that are dictating the economy of the entire planet, the World Economic Forum. So it's a forum, is a group of meeting of people, the top elites throughout the entire earth. And so they're coming up with the plans, their evil, wicked, their secret councils to keep everyone. And that's why everything's changing, because they're really implementing, because they have a short time and they're trying to hurry up and fill their belly and accomplish their enterprise, which the Most High is going to interrupt when he sends Yahushua to return. So it is, verse 2, it is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows. And part of that bread of sorrows is going on with, real quick, let's get Psalm 64 and 2. To hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. And that's what that World Economic Forum is right now. The secret rulers of society are meeting right now for the and they having their secret council over there at the World Economic Forum. From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, the rising up of the workers of iniquity, the rulers of the society today, because why? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And that's what's going on today. So that's what's and the Most High is going to save us through his right arm, who is Yahushua. The so-called Blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, lost 12 tribes of Israel. So it says to eat the bread of sorrows. So when you look at that bread of sorrows, and that's going into the Israelites, Ezekiel 4 and 13. And the Lord Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushua said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles. And their bread of sorrows, their bread is us, because we're their greatest commodity. The Israelites are their greatest commodity, and they're eating off of us through our inventions and our gifts the Most High blessed us with as a chosen nation on the earth. And they're and we have our defiled bread in our prison right now in America, aka Babylon the Great, and throughout the four corners of the earth. Whither says, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, and that's the heathen nations where we're scattered, whither I will drive them. And that's in these last days. The most of us are over here in the Americas, and we're also scattered throughout the four corners as well. So that's what that's going into. And that's those bread of sorrows. And then Zechariah 2 and 8. For thus saith the Most High Power, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushua of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. So that's what's going on. The rulers of the World Economic Forum and the United Nations, they're all confederate against the Israelites, and they are spoiling us until this day for the last 500 years, right? For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. So they're spoiling the Most High's apple of his eye, and that's the Israelites, so-called Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians. Because when you look at the United Nations, we don't have any representation. America is that's our prison, and the rulers of America, so-called whites, that enjoy the benefits of our destruction, are over there represented with the United Nations, and all the other nations are confederate with them destroying us. Because if the only way that they can rule is by keeping us oppressed and keeping us down. Salakia. Okay, Salakia. Okay, so verse 2 again. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he giveth his beloved sleep. So we're getting rest right now for our souls. Jeremiah 6:16, we find in the old paths where we will find rest for our souls. The commandments brings peace and rest. Pursuant to Psalms 37:37, mark the perfect man, for the end of that man is peace. So now we're comforted, and we're having peace now, knowing who we are and knowing why we're in this condition, and we're patiently waiting for the end of our sentence over here when the Messiah returns. Keeping the commandments, rehearsing the righteous acts, and having a faith in Yahushua, in Yahweh and Yahushua, right? In the name of Yahushua. So we just went to who his beloved is. His beloved, the apple of his eye, are the Israelites. That's the apple of the Most High's eye, and that's his beloved, the Israelites. So going to Psalms 23. In verse 2, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Those still waters going into peace and calm. And that's what the everlasting waters of the Holy Scriptures is, the spiritual words, the water of the Holy spiritual words, right? And that gives us our peace. And the Most High leading us beside the still pastures, because the Good Shepherd has come and laid down the groundwork and framework. And he paved the way for us, and now we're being led by those still waters, and it's giving us rest for our souls and comfort until the Messiah returns. And verse 3, he restored my soul. Our souls are restored now, because we know now who we are. And now, because at first we were destroyed. It was bent down in oppression and slavery, and not knowing who we are. But now that we know, now we have peace, and everything makes sense now. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And that's the straight and narrow, which is of the law. Keeping the commandments to the best of our ability and the faith is what's going to justify us, when having our faith in Yahweh and Yahushua. So in verse 4, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. We're in the valley of the shadow of death, and we're not going to fear the evil, but we fear the Most High. We don't fear a man that can kill a body, but we fear the Most High. We fear the Most High power in the name of Yahushua that can kill both body and soul in hell. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And that's that comfort that we're receiving now. And we're having rest. And he giving his beloved sleep and rest and comfort, through this oppression. So I just want to go into that. America was doomed from its inception. So just hang on and, stay strong, and have the faith and testimony of Yahushua, and rehearse the righteous acts of the commandments, and delight in the commandments every day. And you will be a part of the elect, Lord willing. So with that being said, I hope this video was edifying. The waters of the Ruach HaKodesh for another video. So the next video I say, Shalom.